Throughout video game history, there's been no shortage of epic and badass weapons to get your hands on. But which are the weapons that left the biggest impression? What weapons are those that have made their mark on gamers all around the world? Whether that's from their appearance, their power, or the stories behind them. Hey everyone, it's Vale here at Mobalytics, and today we're going to be ranking our top 25 most iconic video game weapons of all time. First up at number 25, we're going to kick it all off with the laptop gun from Perfect Dark. This one stands out as one of the most innovative and memorable weapons in video game history, especially for its time because of the then futuristic design and 2-in-1 functionality. It's not just a submachine gun camouflaged as a laptop, which is badass enough already, but you could also deploy it as a sentry turret too. There's not too much more that needs to be said here really. It's a laptop and an SMG, perfect for when you got a board meeting at 9 and a shootout at 10. This was simply a unique and clever addition to a fantastic game for its time, and really feels like it defines those Nintendo 64 FPS glory days we all remember so fondly. Next up at number 24, we have the ray gun from the Call of Duty Zombies games, which was a complete 180 from the dark and gritty themes these games were set in, with its futuristic sci-fi appearance and pew pew sound effects. The instant kill power of this weapon was so satisfying, and this was the one thing you would always hope would pop out of that mystery box. It first arrived with Call of Duty World at War back in 2008 and has featured in countless zombie games and sequels over the years since. It's remained a staple in the series and has really cemented its legacy as one of those weapons you always hope to find. Moving on to number 23 now, and here we have a nostalgic sword which has a place deep in any gamer's heart. The Cerebrel from Terraria. It's not just a super strong melee weapon, but it also fires green beams of energy at everything in front of you. But what really cements its place in this list is how everyone that plays just can't wait to obtain it. It's the culmination of hours of exploration and boss fights, and the journey to forge it becomes an adventure in itself. Its green glowing design makes it instantly recognizable, and finally equipping it after the grind behind it just makes it feel that much more rewarding. Up next at 22, we have Scorpion's very own Kunai from Mortal Kombat. Scorpion is without doubt one of the most recognizable characters from the series, and his famous quote, "Get over here!" is synonymous with the franchise, and you can't get over here without his weapon. Scorpion is often featured in all the promos and trailers and frequently used as a favorite for many players out of the expansive roster. This iconic weapon allows him to stab, grab and pull enemies towards him before unleashing his ever-growing arsenal of extremely brutal finishers that Mortal Kombat fans will never get bored of. For a relatively small blade on a chain, it's one of those weapons you'll never want to be on the wrong side of, that's for sure. Next, it's number 21. Now Mario is not necessarily a franchise you would typically associate with big badass weapons, however the blue shell would like to have a word with you. This legendary power-up in the Mario Kart games is not one you'll see quite as often as others, but it's likely to spawn at least once during each race. This spiny little sucker has earned a ridiculous reputation over the years of racing, with its ability to seek out the player on top and give everyone else a chance to take that first place spot instead. This weapon disguised as a power-up is one of the most frustrating items to ever exist in video game history, unless it's in your own hands of course. Coming in at number 20, we have Turok 2's Cerebrel Bore, a crazy weapon that literally drills into your enemies' skulls and explodes inside their brain. The reason that this weapon is so iconic is that it's got to be up there with one of the most brutal and creative ways you can kill your victims in any game. And with its lock-on targeting system and tracking ability, it's a lot of fun to use. You just can't help but let out a little evil giggle every time you pull the trigger, as you sit back and watch your enemy's brains spool out into a puddle on the floor. The best part is though, this didn't actually work against enemies with tiny brains or no brains at all, so maybe for the first time in history, there's a plus side to not having one. Next at 19, we have a weapon that defined the chaotic era of arena shooters in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Of course, it's gonna have to be the Flak cannon. The Unreal Tournament series brought countless weapons we will never forget, but the Flak cannon's combination of shells and shrapnel made it one of the most memorable and creative guns you could get your hands on. It's undeniably satisfying to use with the heavy feel of each shot and its ability to simply vaporize your enemies, and it rewarded both aggressive gameplay and some tricky ricochet shots too, giving it some solid skill expression that just felt awesome to get the hang of. On to number 18 now, and here we have the Soul Edge from the Soul Calibur franchise. Now the Soul Edge is not your typical weapon. It corrupts and consumes the souls of all who wield it, and with just one glance at its malevolent appearance, you know that it's not good news. This sentient sword is the central antagonist throughout the fighting game series and is the polar opposite of the holy weapon Soul Calibur, with the theme of the two being fighting between good and evil. The Soul Edge can shapeshift and take different forms depending on its current wielder. It radiates chaos and even drains the health of those who possess it in exchange for power. It's tied to some of the most difficult fights and epic storylines, and has definitely become a menacing yet memorable icon in fighting game history. Up next at number 17 we've got the Moonlight Greatsword. This recurring iconic weapon not only looks as epic as it sounds, but it's always tied to significant lore moments throughout the Soulsborne games by From Software, originally appearing in King's Field in 1994, and has since appeared in every title they've produced with the exception of Sekiro. Its appearance and size has changed slightly over the years, but it's always been an aesthetically pleasing weapon that feels extremely satisfying to wield. Due to its long history, the sword now carries a weight of inevitability and expectation, as players all around the world are always hoping to get their hands on it. Visually, my personal favourite has to be the one from Bloodborne, but honestly, I'm not too fussy. It's an epic and iconic weapon through and through, and let's hope for many more years of acquiring it. At number 16 we have the Vampire Killer Whip from Castlevania. This unique and signature weapon goes hand in hand with the Belmont family legacy, as it can only be used by those with that name. The Vampire Killer is a holy whip passed down through generations, imbued with the power to take down Dracula and all his minions. The story behind the weapon is as powerful as the gameplay itself. It brings a dynamic combat style with long-range attacks, with its wind-up encouraging spacing and skill. And over time, as the series progressed, it received upgrades with extensions and enhancements, but still kept that iconic feel. Its appropriate name is the perfect description of this generational heirloom that we will definitely never forget. Moving on to number 15 now, and here we have the golden gun from everyone's favourite split-screen shooter from 1997, GoldenEye 007. This gun originated from the James Bond film called The Man with the Golden Gun, so before we even played with it, it already carried a weight of prestige. This gold-plated pistol was one-shot kill, and it quickly became renowned for its power and multiplayer, with all players wanting to wield it. Everyone knew the sound of its shot and of course its shiny appearance, but if you're playing in split screen, you could even see that someone had it, and you just had to hope that you didn't get one-tapped. Decades later, the Golden Gun still holds its reputation as one of the most iconic guns from one of the most iconic split screen multiplayer games of its generation. At number 14 we have Mega Man's Mega Buster. This weapon is simply part of the main character himself. You don't get one without the other, and for a relatively simple design and concept, it's executed perfectly, and it's just so memorable, with its rapid fire energy missiles or charged up power blasts. Aside from copying and using enemies' abilities throughout the games, the Mega Blaster is a fundamental part of the gameplay, and to be honest, you just don't get bored of it. I mean, you're firing solar bullets, what's not to like? The original Mega Man game came out almost 40 years ago now, and this weapon and character has held its own reputation ever since. There's just something about having a giant blue plasma cannon attached to you that will never get bored of. Then at number 13 we have the Portal Gun. The official name is the Aperture Science handheld portal device, and this weapon completely defined the series with its creativity and unique design. The portal gun doesn't deal damage in the traditional sense like many weapons in this video. Instead, it lets players create portals on surfaces to get around, solve puzzles, and outsmart your enemies, completely flipping the switch on what defines an iconic weapon. It's not all about blood and guts, guys. Its sleek white design is so recognisable with the glowing lights inside too, and just oozes that futuristic flair. Whether you've replayed the Portal games 100 times or whether it's the first time you use it, this piece of kit always surprises you as to how much you can do with it, but also how much fun it is to use at the same time. Then coming in at number 12 we have Dante's trademark pistols from the Devil May Cry franchise, Ebony and Ivory. These games have no shortage of incredible weapons you can wield, from the Yamato to the Cerberus, but the personalised pistols come out on top for us. They perfectly capture Dante's style and philosophy and are integral to the game's fast-paced combo-driven gameplay. Ebony and Ivory bring flair, flavour and fun to an exceptional series of games with a mixture of precision and personality, and have become a symbol of Devil May Cry itself. The games are all about over-the-top action and style in combat, and these engraved handguns are the perfect complement. Coming in at number 11 we have one of the juiciest gore-inducing weapons from a legendary co-op campaign franchise in Gears of War, the Lancer. This assault rifle with a twist is mechanically unique and suits the thematic of the Gears games perfectly. It not only delivers the standard firepower you would expect from an AR, but also brings brutal finishes to any enemy that gets too close. Gears of War brought plenty of epic weapons to our screens like the exploding arrows in the torque bow or the headshot pops of the longshot. Chainsawing the Locust Horde just really never gets old. Next up at number 10 we have the weapon which every player wanted, and even if you sucked with it you had to pick it up anyway. It's the Energy Sword from Halo. This beautiful, futuristic yet simple sword brings deep cultural recognition, and in a game with plenty of fantastic plasma weapons, this one takes the cake. The illuminated twin blades define an appearance worth fighting over, and its high risk, high reward gameplay make it all the more fun to use in game. It brought its very own signature lunge mechanic, and there was nothing more fun than hearing those multi-kill announcements whilst going on a rampage with this elegant creation, and enjoying the swishing plasma sound effects it brought too. Moving on to number 9 we have Half-Life 2's Gravity Gun, or as it's actually named, the 0-point energy field manipulator. Now we have to be honest, we were pretty close to including the crowbar hit, as I just can't look at a crowbar and not think of Half-Life 2. But instead, we went for the Gravity Gun, for just how much it fundamentally defined physics-based games for years to come. The Gravity Gun is just epic amounts of fun. It's super creative and you can use it in so many different ways to take down enemies. You can literally experiment with it whilst you're fighting, and you'll always find new ways to yeet your way through. It literally turns the environment and everything around you into a weapon, making it one of the most unique weapons in video game history, not for its complexity itself or any kind of crazy appearance, just because physics are awesome. Moving on to number 8, and here we have the weapon which belongs to one of the best storylines in the history of gaming, Frostmourne. From first appearing in Warcraft 3 to defining WoW's second expansion in the Wrath of the Lich King, Frostmourne is not just a sword. Its name carries the weight of Prince Arthas Menethil's tragic journey himself and his corruption and transformation into the Lich King. Warcraft has no shortage of iconic weapons, with items like the Twin Blades of Azeroth, Ashbringer, and of course Thunder Fury. Did somebody say Thunder Fury Blessed Blade of the Windseeker? But due to its deep dark narrative and storyline behind it, Frostmourne is our pick as the most iconic weapon from Warcraft and one of the most iconic video game weapons of all time. Moving on to number 7 now, and here we have the Hidden Blade from Assassin's Creed. This weapon perfectly embodies all the core elements of this incredible franchise: stealth, precision, and history. Unlike some of the other big bad weapons in this video, the Hidden's main strength is its subtlety, and there's nothing more satisfying than executing your targets in one swift, silent move. This blade was introduced in the very first Assassin's Creed game back in 2007 and has become synonymous with the franchise over the years. In games since, it's been changed and upgraded with all sorts of poisons and rotating blades allowing for it to be used differently, but the core identity of this iconic weapon will always remain. Coming in at number 6 we have Doom's BFG 9000. The Bioforce gun is its official name, even though we all know what its real name is. The BFG's sole duty is to help you clear rooms of demons with big devastating blasts of green plasma, which basically evaporates everything in sight. Both its power and its appearance play a big part into why it's the most iconic weapon from within the Doom franchise, and with its slow fire rates but undeniable impact, it's left an impression on all gamers far and wide ever since we first got hold of it. Over the years of Doom games we've had ballistas, super shotguns, rocket launchers, and of course chainsaws, but the BFG 9000 is the best of the bunch. Into the top 5 now guys, and first up we have the Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts. At just one glance, everyone knows where this iconic weapon is from, and although it may just look like an oversized tool, it carries endless power and potential. Kingdom Hearts is all about its magic and charming storytelling, focused on friendship and destiny and fighting away the darkness, and this weapon has become a symbol of the series. It doesn't just represent the games, but every story and memory behind them too. The Keyblade is not just for combat, as it literally unlocks doors between worlds. So it's more than just a weapon, it's an emblem of one of gaming's most beloved franchises. Coming in at number 4 we have the Blades of Chaos from God of War. God of War is one of the most badass gaming series of all time, and these blades merge satisfying gameplay, incredible narrative significance, and let's be honest, some seriously sexy aesthetics all in one. Being offered from Ares himself, these weapons chained to your flesh demonstrated the power of the god's manipulation. And we're actually pretty grateful for it, because hacking and slashing with these bad boys never gets old. They first appeared in the original God of War in 2005 and returned in 2018's God of War and sequel Ragnarok. Speaking of, we also wanted to throw a quick mention to the Leviathan Axe 2 because that's also absolutely epic. But you can't deny that the Blades of Chaos and Kratos go hand in hand, literally. In the number 3 spot we have a weapon where gamers of all ages will instantly know where it comes from, the Diamond Sword from Minecraft. Minecraft is all about exploration, surviving, and crafting, funnily enough. And with a bunch of weapons, you can equip the Diamond Sword as the OG most sought after weapon for all veteran players. It's got a charming yet simple appearance, which is basically Minecraft in a nutshell, and it's just synonymous with the game itself. It's not just a rewarding sword to craft, but genuinely anyone who's ever touched a video game will be able to tell you what it is from just one look. Final Fantasy has brought some seriously epic weapons over its lengthy and memorable history, but Cloud's Buster Sword takes our runner-up spot as number 2 in our most iconic video game weapons of all time. You've had the Gunblade, Sephiroth's Masamune, and the recurring Ultimate weapon, but Cloud's Buster Sword is the one we all resonate the most with. From its sheer size to its minimalistic design, it's the perfect weapon for the perfect protagonist. It symbolises pure strength and determination that genuinely fills you with confidence when you wield it. The Buster Sword is not just an oversized sword that's almost as tall as its owner. It's cultural, it's inspiring, it's over the top, but in the best kind of way. And more importantly than anything else, it's iconic. And finally, we have our most iconic video game weapon of all time. It has many names like the Blade of Evil's Bane or the Sword that Seals the Darkness, but most people know it as the Master Sword. Yes, it's Link's trademark weapon that takes our top spot, from one of the most beloved franchises in video game history, The Legend of Zelda. This isn't just a powerful sword to use in combat, it's a sword that's woven into the history of the series, appearing across multiple timelines and games. It's the symbol of Link's fight against the darkness, and obtaining this sword is a moment of triumph in itself, with the familiar yet cinematic act of claiming it being one of many gamers' favourite moments of all time. This sword summarises the success of the game's near 40-year lifetime, and has helped cement a legacy that will last for many more generations to come. Well, there you go, that's our top 25 most iconic video game weapons of all time. We hope you enjoyed the video guys, and let us know in the comments if there's any you think we missed. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care.